Yeah, hello guys. Hello, warm welcome. Warm welcome. I warmly welcome you to this strategic session on how to plan OMETs like NMATs, NMAT, etc. without really affecting your performance on the CAT or without really affecting your preparation for CAT. Right? That's what we are doing here. Hi, Roman. Yeah, Priyanka, am I audible? I think I am audible. Yeah, I guess I am audible clearly here. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. So last week I was doing a session in which I was talking about how to plan your mock cats, right? That's what I was doing. Quickly to brief about me. So I'll continue that. I'll continue that. That portion also I kind of touch in this, and then I will also give the insights here. Quickly to understand about myself. So it's here. I'm Belvi Srinivas, and I worked with various test prep industries in the last 14 years. That's since 2007. And yes, over a period of time, I developed expertise in training students on QATI and LR areas. Uh, to give a background, so based on my counseling, I've been an expert counselor as well. So based on my understanding of counseling the students to prepare well for various entrance exams and manage their times, considering that, so with that experience, I'm trying to talk to you today about this particular session as to how you can actually plan to crack the exams like in maths, SNAP, and few other exams without really compromising on your performance on CAT. That has been the objective for now, right? Yeah. So if you want to get counseled or speak to me one to one, so this can be the Telegram channel. So you can DM me from there. You can interface with me, and then we will be able to discuss your concerns in one to one fashion. Quickly to just few announcements before we get started. An academy provides two kinds of subscriptions. As you all know, it's about Iconic and Plus. And Iconic Plus is technically if you are looking for a structured course, right? On the YouTube, sometimes we'll be doing a lot of unstructured course. If you're looking at doing a structured course, this is what we are kind of looking at. And if you're looking at the plus, if you're looking at the iconic comes with a lot of personal guidance. Basically, it's more a personalized course. The study planners, individual study planners, or it can be a individual guidance, test analysis of the individual, so on, right? The iconic is more individualistic, like one-to-one attention is given in the iconic, unlike plus. So here are the subscription fees, charges for the plus program. Yeah, based on whether you are preparing for CAT 21, CAT 22, CAT 23. Based on that, you can choose an appropriate subscription plan, and you can feel free to use the code Belvi 100. So whenever you are asked for a code on the subscription plans, otherwise as well. So here is the iconic subscription plan. I was mentioning there are a lot of benefits in addition to the plus, like a one-to-one doubt solving. That helps because your doubts can be pretty unique and what you want to discuss are pretty unique. Or it can be a content discussion. In fact, like no, you have some issues on permutation combination or reading comprehension. You can speak to an expert one-to-one to understand and resolve your concern. Right? Even it could be a mentorship, call it one-to-one mentorship. Could be like, so how to prepare for certain interviews for a particular B school, then it would be nice to speak to someone from that college background, some things like that. So that's what you mean by so one-to-one attention with the iconic subscription plan. Yes, as we are getting into the testing season, so with any subscription, be it plus or be it iconic, with any subscription, you get two full-length mock cats free per week, and you get three sections per week. All this is per week. All this is per week. You get one DI, one LRDI, one QA, and one VARC per week, and then you also get two full-length mocks for other management exams like NMAT, SNAP, etc. per month, two of them. So based on all these exams, so and also the detailed video analysis of these exams would be made available to the students, those who enrolled for plus or iconic program. The mock test series comes as a it's included in the plus or the iconic program. Fair enough. Now let's come back to the discussion for the day. What is that we are trying to discuss? So let me tell you. I said that whenever you are planning the mock, there are three stages that we plan. I was talking about this in the last Saturday's video that was released on 31st of August 2021. So that's the video I'm talking about. So in that, I kind of gave the complete details about you. Generally, you plan the mock in 3 stages. One, just when you start preparing for the test, just in the first week of preparing for the test, or when the thought comes to you that I need to prepare for the test, you got to take the diagnostic mock. If you're serious about it, you got to take the diagnostic, self-diagnostic. So scores are not important. In the self-diagnostic, is the score important? Of course not. Score is not important. Then what is that I'm trying to understand? The difficulty level. Somebody already might have glorified the difficulty level. You may come from a very sound verbal background. Therefore, verbal section of that test, it might not sound very difficult to you. Some of you might come from a very solid mathematical background, quantitative background. So then quant might not appear very difficult as what others are trying to say, because everybody puts forth their opinion. Individually, after taking the mock, you kind of realize that what works for you, what does not work for you, what do you think are the difficulty level, and hence you can plan your preparation without really knowing the goal in sight. It becomes sometimes very difficult to plan going by what others thought about that particular section of preparation, right? That also gives you an idea about the syllabus and the weightage. That's what I mean by the diagnostic mock. Technically, how many diagnostic mock? Maybe one or two for any exam for that matter. Directional marks, you take it somewhere in between. We call them as the directional marks. Then finishing marks, that will tell you the strategy, and also it helps in the quick revision of the concepts that you have done. Fair enough. So this is what we spoke about in the last video as well. Nevertheless, I will touch this from the OMETs perspective in this particular video of 15-20 minutes. Yeah. So here we go. So before we start, what did we discuss on the CAT? What is the uncompromisable parameter? When you are serious about your CAT prep, what you don't compromise? You don't compromise no matter what. Come month of September, you will take 2 full-length mocks per week. All right, 2 full-length mocks per week. Doesn't matter all right, where you are studying, from what mock series you take. It really doesn't matter from which institute you take. Shouldn't really matter. But this plan should be, that's a minimum 1+1. Okay, what is that 1+1? For example, you decided to take a mock on every Sunday. Every Sunday you decided that, hey, 2 hours of CAT mock I'm going to take. 2 hours of CAT mock I'm going to take. That you kind of all it know. So here you do is one you take on Friday. One you take on Friday. In that you say that, hey, this is the time allocated for RC. This much is what I will do for verbal ability. This is how I plan my DILR. This is how I do. This is the time I spend in selection of the sets. This is how I go in attacking that particular sets. Do one on Friday. Take that mock. It's a mock to the mocks. So treat something like that, right? So you have no stakes involved in this, which means you have nothing to lose in the Friday's mock. You are saying you are setting up the tone for the Sunday's mock. So say that Sunday what I write is important. You may say that, sir, why Sunday between all of this? Because generally you write CAT on Sunday. Right? You generally write CAT on Sunday. Therefore, I don't want the feeling to sink in that Sundays are meant to be holiday in most of the people's mind. Right? So I don't want to sink in that feeling going to approaching last 3 months. The feeling should be, hey, Sunday is a D-Day. Sunday is very, very important for me. Therefore, train your mind to take the test on Sunday. That's my view. That's my view. So if you are very flexible kind of person, no, Saturday also I can take, Sunday, all days are same for me. Different. But a lot of us, there is a pattern without our understanding. We'll have certain patterns in our mind. Keeping that in mind, I generally say that try and write on Sunday. That too in the appropriate duration, right? Generally, we write the test in the daytime. I don't want your mind to be active in the night time. Right? When the exams are happening at 9 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, what is the point that you peak up your mind at night, 8 o'clock in the night or 9 o'clock in the night? That's when you peak up. That's not appropriate. Therefore, ensure that you kind of take the test during the daylight, right? During the daylight, sometime between 9 and 7ish, 6ish in the evening, during the daylight. That's an appropriate way of planning so that your mind is quite active, adaptive during that time, because until the time you get the slot, do this. Once you register for CAT, and then once the slot comes, your hall ticket says that, hey, this is the time at which you will be writing your particular test. I advise once your hall ticket is ready, the timelines are ready, you should write your mocks appropriately at that time, because your biological clock has to set around that particular time, and you should peak up around that particular time. That's very, very important. You don't have to peak up at the wrong time. Some people, right, nocturnal, they will peak up in the night, and the mornings they're pretty dull. Even if it is afternoon 12 o'clock, their mind is very dull. What if they have a CAT slot at 9 in the morning? Then there is a challenge. That's going to be a challenge. So keep that in mind. This is what this small adjustments are required in the next 3 months. From September onwards, try and write the mock on Sundays as much as possible. If you are very busy on Sunday doing some other course, very, very important there. all right, then you can compromise to some extent, but still ensure that on Sundays you write the test. Sundays should not be treated as holiday in your mind. Sunday should be treated as a D-day. It's an approaching D-day, right? Yeah, that's something that you may have to kind of keep that in your mind there. That's September and October, your schedule remains more or less same from the CAT perspective. No change, right? What I'm talking here, uncompromisable parameter. If you are serious about CAT, okay, you will cannot compromise on 2 mocks per week in the month of September, 2 mocks per week in the month of October, and 3 mocks per week in the month of November, right? Yeah. So that is what in the month of November we'll talk about much more in detail. In the month of October, how exactly the plan for November look like, we will do that. But yes, this is an uncompromisable material. Okay. Now, in between this, you may say that, hey, NMAT is what I want to write. Hey, NMAT is an example. You may say that, no, sir, SNAP is my plan. Right? You may say that ZAT is my plan. So all of this, I'm just taking NMAT as an example because sometimes most of us write NMAT before CAT. We write NMAT first and then we write CAT. CAT, we plan it in the month of November. The NMAT, we kind of plan it in the month of October. That's what we kind of do. Most of them, most of us kind of do. Some people, they plan NMAT. See, November, you should not write anything after November 10th. For example, November 29th is your CAT, right? November 28th is your CAT. 28th November is your CAT. Nothing should come in between for after November 10th. November 10 onwards, there should be nothing. Absolutely no other test can come and interfere. It has to be completely CAT thought process, right? That's a deadline. So in fact, November 1 is the right deadline, the whole of November, because there is already a lot of CAT pressure. The moment you enter into November 1st, you should not technically think of anything else at the most, because that something comes up. Fine, worst case scenario, November 10th. Fair enough. So in any which ways, so now let's say that, okay, some of you want to take NMAT here and you want to write it in the month of October. Anybody here who wants to write an NMAT as a test? Anybody here? Can you put it in the chat? There are some of you watching it live. Can you put this in the chat that, okay, how many of you are willing to write the NMAT? Which means, yes, that plan is there. NMAT plan is there, registered already or not yet registered, because I think registration started from this month 3rd. August 3rd. Anybody who is taking it, can you just quickly confirm it in the chat? Anybody writing NMAT here? Okay, Arpit, you are writing. Very good. All right. Yeah, at least someone is writing. Okay, yeah. So because I just took NMAT as an example, I am not briefing about NMAT as a test. I'm saying that how do you put that plan, assuming that NMAT is one of the exams that you write. Two things. Solid NMAT is live for about 74 days. The window is about 74 days. Kshitij. Okay. Kshitij, you are also writing. All right. Good. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. About a couple of you are writing at least. All right. Others also might be writing, but you don't want to respond in the chat. That's not a worry. So you know it. Okay. NMAT is just an example. You may think that SNAP also you are writing. ZAT also you are writing. So all that. Let's keep that aside. So now let's take NMAT as one of the OMETs as an example. Now, knowing that uncompromisable parameters of CAT, how do I squeeze in NMAT so that I rock NMAT as well as I will rock my CAT? If it is NMAT, one of the reasons I took NMAT is never take NMAT in the month of November. NMAT is conducted in the month, starts in the month of October, somewhere about October 14th, I guess, right? And then ends by December 27th. That's the window. Not all the days, not every single day from October 14 to December 27. There are gap days, there are test dates, all those dates are there. So you might know about those dates. I'm not briefing you completely about NMAT, therefore I'm not taking that presentation here. The point here is, so NMAT starts somewhere about the second or third week of October and then ends by end of October, last week of October. It starts on 14th, say the first window, and ends by 27th. Ends by 27th, 28th. I'm not sure about the date, somewhere around that. You should consider writing NMAT either here or you should write after CAT, which means you should write during the December. Nobody should technically plan to write NMAT during the month of November. If you are serious about CAT prep, that's a disaster. If you try to write in the month of November, it's a disaster. We should never do that. Fair enough. Assuming that I want to write NMAT either here or I want to write it either here, what I should do? The first thing that you should do is you should first take the diagnostic today or tomorrow, day after, whatever. Today doesn't mean necessarily today, by tomorrow or day after. Come by end of this particular month. Okay, technically Saturdays or by tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday. So I want you to finish taking 1 or 2 diagnostic NMATs immediately. You may say that, okay, from where do I get? Last year papers, etc. would be available there. Just take it, all it now take it, all it now take one or two diagnostic marks. Reason, sir, why I should take one or two diagnostic marks of any OMET? For example, NMAT is an example of the OMET. If you are writing SNAP, you should write SNAP also. If you are writing ZAT, you should write ZAT also. For example, some of you may say that, sir, I'm writing SNAP also. Okay, I'm writing ZAT also. I am suggesting that, hey, please take all these three, all it by the end of August. By the end of August. Why you should do it by the end of August? To understand certain things and plan your preparation. Is it for the scores perspective? No. When you write the diagnostic, the scores are not important. Score is not important. What is important? Which sections you felt difficult there and what was challenging out there for you? Did you feel that language was challenging you there, or the logical part was challenging you there, or was it quantitative which was challenging you there, or nothing was challenging you there? Good. If nothing is challenging you, everything was fair enough. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, yeah, that's very good there. Otherwise, second thing what you should do, what is the kind of syllabus that they are asking? All right, what is the kind of syllabus, what is the kind of weightage, right? Syllabus and the kind of weightage, all right, that we are talking about there. For example, let me take NMAT as an example. When you look at the syllabus for verbal, when you look at the syllabus for verbal, there are straight questions from vocab, direct question which come from applications of vocab, right? Direct questions and grammar, very, very direct and simple, silly, challenging, silly questions, not even challenging, right? Direct. But the point is, if your grammar is not fresh, you may end up making silly mistakes, right? Yeah. Similar thing with the vocab. Okay, I don't have adequate vocab, in the sense recent past I didn't refresh my vocabulary. I didn't catch hold of some book like Norman Lewis, or there are many books, Barron's. There are many books for vocabulary. I didn't go through any vocabulary book. Then there is a challenge. You might not be really able to map with many of the frequently used words. Any book in vocab where the illustration of frequently used words, that would do, that would help, right? There are direct questions on vocab, there are direct questions on grammar, and the direct questions on grammar. So all right, now let's come to, let's say that logical part. Logical part in verbal part, in NMAT they call it as the language part, right? They call it as the language part. Now when it comes to some of logical part, hey, you have questions something like statement assumption, right? Statement conclusion, all right, then all right, then the fact and inference, something like that. All right, now you have these kind of questions there, right? Statement assumption, statement conclusion, things like this. Hey, I'm not oriented towards this. When you are preparing for CAT, you really don't do the questions like statement assumption, statement conclusion, statement inference. You don't do these kind of questions. But the point is, you have bulk of questions which are a part of logic which come out there. So we all know the pattern. So as far as I remember, the pattern is something like last year and this year the pattern is same. The pattern looks like, okay, in the language part there are 36 questions, right? In the quant part there are 36 questions, right? And then you have the logic part, language and logic part, you have 36 questions. The time here is about 40 minutes, here it is 52 minutes, here it is 28 minutes, right? That's a point there, that's a point there. And again, between the sections you can choose which section you want to do first. Should you do logic first, should you do language first, or should you do quant first? You can sequence them as you wish. As you wish, you can sequence them. All that is there. See, when you take the diagnostic, these are the things which you become kind of aware of. Now you understand that, okay, a statement assumption, statement conclusion, fact inference, okay, these kind of statements I'm not prepared. Now what you do? So once you identify such additional skills can be building vocabulary. Every week I want to build 100 words or 200 words. Set up a target, how many words you want to learn. So something like that. Once you identify those areas, let's assume once you kind of identify those areas, vocab I need to work, grammar I need to work, statement assumptions I need to work, they allocate the time every week in addition to what I'm doing for CAT. So how many hours are required for these additional areas? Now you know that whether you want to write this NMAT in the month of October or you want to write it in the month of December. In between November, you will not do anything additional for any other exam. So now you kind of know the timeline. Keeping that timeline in the mind, figure it out. Hey, every week, how many hours I need to prepare for NMAT? This additional skill, how much time I require in the month of September, in the month of October, if I'm taking the exam in the month of October. If you're taking in the month of December, you will say that how much time in the month of December as well. But November, you will keep it aside. All right, now that is completely for CAT, because the pressure of CAT is very different. It builds up its own pressure. So therefore, we will not have time to do any other thing out there. So keep that aside. If required, we will use it. But for the time being, never consider November to do something else other than CAT. All right, so that's a point there. Okay, so that is what you kind of do. Now coming to that, all right, let me quickly rephrase categorize it. So what we want to do by the diagnostic, we want to understand that what is the difficulty level of this test for me as on today. That tells us how much I need to prepare. Second thing is, you will also find out that are there any additional syllabus other than CAT which are coming in between this. Identify them and then make a study plan, weekly plan. You don't have to prepare every day for NMAT. Okay, in this week, this much time I allocate for some skill, this much time I allocate for vocab, or every day vocab I do for 30 minutes, every alternate day I do grammar for 30 minutes, whatsoever it is. Try and figure out based on the difficulty level you prepare. Don't prepare for inappropriate difficulty level. Always prepare for appropriate difficulty level, right? So that is what the diagnostic test does. Then what you should do, if you are assuming that I want to write NMAT in the month of October, if you are writing NMAT in the month of October, by end of September, you have to write 1 or 2 marks. You got to again write 1 or 2 marks in the month of September, end of September, just to understand, okay, the whole month I've been preparing something on the vocab, right? So you may say that whole month I've been preparing something, whole month I've been preparing something on vocab, something on grammar, or it's something on logic. So how well it is going on? Is it making it, has it given any advantage so far? So if it has not given too much of an advantage on particular parameter, you can come and revise the strategy for October. So should I increase the number of hours? What I should be doing? Because my scores should have shown some traction. The traction is not there. So then what you do, you can revise your calendar for October. If you don't take stock of situation, that is what I mean by the directional marks. If you don't take stock of the situation where I'm heading, then tomorrow you may wake up and you may say that I'm late, right? I'm already late for this. That is what you mean by the kind of the feedback, right? That's what you do there. That is what the directional marks does. How many? About 1 or 2. Your wish. You want 2 is the good number. Already, if you ask me how much I would have taken, I would have taken about 2 of them. So maybe in the beginning I would have taken 1 of them. Diagnostic 1 should be fine. If I don't trust 1, I will do 2 to be doubly sure, because 2 is always a good number, because 1 you can't really judge sometimes, right? You sometimes will be overwhelmed by the test itself. Therefore, you don't know what you felt. About 2 is a good number. Directional also about 2 is a good number. I feel that 2 is a good number. Then what you do, the finishing marks. Then you come to the third parameter called as the finishing marks. How do you plan the finishing marks? Just 7 days before for a smaller exam like NMAT. If it is that, you take 2 weeks. All right, you take 14 days. You kind of takes 14 days or 15 days, whatever it is, because that is always by the size of the exam. How important is that for me? Based on that, if it's very, very important, then take about 3 weeks. All right, for the finishing marks. That's for the finishing marks. Okay, coming to the finishing marks, what you do here, you allocate 7 days. 0 is when you will be writing the NMAT. NMAT is an example for this. NMAT you are writing out there. So coming to the day 7, in the first 2 days, which means that 1 week is very important. 1 week leading up to the actual mock is very important. Take a look at that. Between these 2 days, write 1 test. 1 mock you should write. How many finishing marks you should write for an exam like NMAT or SNAP? About 3 to 4. About 3 to 4. 3 is also fine. 4 is also fine. All right, you write the first one, create the momentum and do the revision. Which concepts has to be revised? Full throttle. No CAT prep, nothing during those 7 days. Complete full throttle and NMAT, because damn, you want to get about 275 score on a scale of 360. Right? Something like that. That's your target. I want to get about 270, 280 on a scale of 360. That's your target. If that is the case, this 1 week you say that now I will not do anything else. So a complete focus and attention these last 7 days just shifts to completely to NMAT here, right? So 1 mock you will do here. You will do another mock between these 2 days. You will do another mock between these 2 days. Okay, which day? That depends on person to person, date to date. So therefore, I'm not freezing saying that this 1 day. I'm giving a choice. Okay, between these 2 days, you take one particular mock. Between these 3 days, you take another mock. Between these 2 days, you take another mock. For every attempt, this is how the kind of your finishing would look like. Why? What happens in a finishing? You are fine-tuning the strategies, getting the timeline right, because you thought well about this. From here you learned something, so then already you are saying you are implementing it here and checking whether it is working well for me, and again you are checking further, fine tuning it further, saying that okay, how well it is working. More to do with the strategy, which section I should do first. Should I start with RC there? Should I start with grammar there? Should I start with vocab there? Or should I simply go with the pattern which is given there? Such doubts will come in your mind. Unless you take the test, you will not know what best works for you, right? Whether it should start with quant first, logical first, language first, you will not know. So I may say that for me language works first better, but for you, you may say that no, quant works for you better. So find out what works better. That is what 3 is not enough, 4 should be good enough. If you think that, sir, for finishing 3 is not enough, I might mess up somewhere here and there. Sure, I'll let now plan about 4 of them. So this tells us kind of the story. Diagnostic about 1 or 2. That should be immediate. This should be immediate. This is 1 month. Directional marks should be 1 month before your actual exam, about 1 month or so, or a 3 weeks to 5 weeks kind of duration. You got to write about 2 directional marks to fine tune your preparation for the last 1 month before the exam. That's what the directional marks. Again, 1 or 2. Again, 1 or 2. Finishing marks should be between somewhere about 3 or 4. See, this is how the planning for the OMET should take place, whichever be the OMET that you are trying to write out there. But if you give me the complete calendar saying that this is the all OMETs that we are doing, maybe in one-to-one counseling, I can help you as to how you can exactly plan some days, etc. But overall, all right, I hope that all right, those who are here, it might have given a kind of a reference as to how you can plan your OMETs without affecting your CATs. Sticking to that, can somebody confirm here? Kshitij, Arpit, anyone out here? Priyanka, if you guys are around here, so anyone out here from the beginning, so did it give a kind of a ballpark figure saying that okay, we kind of got the idea how something can be planned without really affecting the CAT prep, how the preparation can be planned, how the testing can be planned? Good, Kshitij, nice, very nice. Arpit, glad to have you guys here, glad to have you guys here. Superb. Any question that you have, you guys can put it as well. Young Savage. Okay, Young Savage. Savage Gardens was one of the very famous albums, which I also kind of liked. And nevertheless, Young Savage, may I know your name? You're very fancy the way you have put it up there. Yeah, just as a curiosity. Great, Arpit. Nice, nice, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, if you guys are following me out here, so we are tonight. I'll be doing the impact already under the Cat Ninjas banner. We are doing some of the lectures which are most impactful concepts. We are picking up and we are trying to understand the approaches. Today I'll be doing time and work 1. You can join me out there at night 10 p.m. In fact, every day more or less at 10 p.m. we do a quant 1. And at about 2ish in the afternoon, generally the 2ish in the afternoon, we do some of the DILR classical approaches. You can take, if you are searching, you can search it under the banner Cat Ninjas 1.0. Put it there, you will get the list of videos. If it is about DILR, you can do it in any order. Everyone talks about a classic approach on some of the puzzle there. You can always take a look at that. But if you are doing the quant, try and do it all. They're as isolated as they get, but try and do it in some order. It will make a lot of sense out there, right? Okay. So again, I will meet you tomorrow morning at 10:30. 10:30, I will do another strategic session. That's tomorrow morning at 10:30 in the morning. So we will see if I am not particularly very good in quant. Weak may be a wrong word. If I'm not very particularly very good in quant, how can I improve my score with whatever the understanding that I have so far? I will share one important trick there. So in the morning, tomorrow morning at 10:30, if you can join me, if you guys can join me there live so that you can also put in your questions while we are trying to do that. So to unlock some of the videos, you're always encouraged to use the code Belvi100. Yeah, any questions? Anybody, any questions you can put in? Meanwhile, I will do some of the quick announcements. You can put your questions right after my lecture. I will take your questions. If you have liked this video, so be it already doing it online or offline, doesn't matter. You can always click the like button. That would be encouraging to the person on the other side. That is me. You can also share this video link with your friends, those who want to do it, so that we can co-travel together. If you have not downloaded the Unacademy app, probably you can download the Unacademy app, because I'll also be taking a lot of free lectures on the Unacademy app. We call them as the special classes. We call them as the special classes. They're the free lectures. You can follow me and you can attend my lectures there for free out there. Yes, so my first free lecture, next upcoming free lecture, that is going to be on the 1st of the month, 1st of September at 12 in the afternoon. You can join me there. The lecture notes will be shared. One of the advantages is you will get the lecture notes being shared once I conclude my lecture. While you are downloading, you can always use the code Belvi100 to download. Yes, if you have not taken the test, if you have not taken the big mega combat test, if you have not taken it yet, probably this Sunday, 29th, this Sunday could be the day you should be writing for 1 hour this particular test. There is a good reason. Of course, winner takes it all. We all know that. In the sense, those who do well, the merit-based people, they will get the goodies. They will get the goodies. These are the goodies that we are talking about, be it smartwatch, be it smartphone, right? Be it all at the smart speakers or the washers, whatever it is. So this, the winner takes it all. In the sense, people, those who do well, they take it correct. So 200 of such merit-based prizes are there. I will call them as the merit praise. But just to encourage those who all are writing this particular test, there are 250 participants who will be getting a lucky draw based test, right? Lucky draw, which means you did well or you didn't do well, doesn't matter. 250 lucky draws or lucky draws will be picked up, and they will be getting all right. Now, whatever comes in the lucky draw, you will also get. Try your luck, try your luck. Sometimes already your luck can be good, already your merit need be good, but luck could be good. Try it out. Try it out. Yes, that brings me to the end of the lecture. So here I go. Kshitij is asking a question. NMAT would be good from home or from the test center. See, Kshitij, if you think you have good internet connectivity, there is no problem. It is pretty stable. And if you are confident about it, then you can take it from home. There is no disturbance around your area, and it's very predictable. Something unpredictable should not happen on that particular day, right? In the sense, snapping of the internet or some loud noise from somewhere around your place, right? If you think that, okay, it's pretty predictable, the way the place that I live is more predictable, kind of a little bit of noise proof, right? And also, like, you can kind of say that, okay, you have two internet connection as a backup. If one of them snaps, the other one always works well and to the adequate speed, etc. If you're confident about it, you can write from home as well. Comfort of the home, it's up to you. So up to you, right? So these are the two things I will check if I were you. So if I were to write from home, these are the two things. Number one, I check that do I have two internet connections. So whichever way, if one of them snaps, if that is the worst day, so that one of them snaps, the other one keeps working. The second thing I check is the disturbance level. So noise level should be as less as it could so that we can focus better. If these two things are fine, rest are all minor aspects. I hope that answers your questions, Kshitij. Right? Yeah, home or center doesn't really matter if that is taken care. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. So I will see you guys at 10 p.m. in the night and 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. Bye till then. Stay blessed. Keep working hard.